All right, everyone, welcome back. So, uh, this is kind of going to be an introductory video to probably a series of videos. Because one of the people I play Warframe with have for almost 6 years now, started asking questions because they wanted some help with like building things and having the Warframe builds for weapons and frames that actually do the content they want to play rather than just bebopping around the regular star chart. They wanted to maybe have some help getting into the steel path. And I like to think of myself as a veteran idiot. I've played this game for 6 years and I've picked up some things along the way. Mainly by watching people who are less of idiots. I feel at the root cause we're all idiots. We're just different types of idiots. But yeah, so I'm a veteran idiot and I've learned some things and I've decided to share them. So this is going to be introducing a bunch of topics, kind of briefly, just covering them, and then I'll make videos on each specific one, so it's a little easier. So maybe it helps someone who's maybe starting out, maybe returning, maybe they never understood something to begin with, and they find out from this video. Who knows? Hope it helps someone. So, first thing we're going to cover is for modding specific purposes, the two things that are going to help the most in knowing about mods. And one of that is the mod station here, which lists whatever mods you have, including ribbons, and just how many of them you have, things like that. Also has your IATAN sculptures, your IATAN treasures, which again that'll be covered when I do the full video for this. And then the other thing that's useful for mods is coming over here to your codex. And if you go to universe, there's this guy right here. Has a mod lists, which is really good for like looking things up. So that's kind of the mod side of things. The other useful thing is in your equipment zone. At the bottom, you have abilities for your warframes. That's super helpful. And when you go to that, there's this tips thing. Again, this will be covered in more in depth kind of deal. And there'll be add-ons to that too. And so another big one is like I have mod right here, which is a focus school. There are certain things that are granted by your focus schools. And you can change your focus schools and things in the big room, which if you've just started playing, hi, this is a spoiler. Just about every one of these videos will have a ton of spoilers. Why? Because I've been playing the game for 6 years. So you have your 5 schools, and selecting them does different things, and then there's a focus cap. Again, will be covered in a longer video. We're just trying to touch on various things. From here, also in your orbiter, there's the helmet over here, which if you haven't done the Heart of Deimos quest, this learning about the helmet won't help you. But if you have, you can get the Metamorphosis segment, I think is what it's called, which allows you to start working with this, do invigorations, and mess with Archon shards. Bigger video will break that down a little bit more. And some of the things that I've seen that are helpful when you first start with that. So, obviously, weapons and warframes from the Foundry. The quest line itself does a really good job of explaining the Foundry. I don't necessarily think there's anything I can really help with. However, I will state that something that gets overlooked a lot is this little button right here, Components, which lets you see how much of each component you have. Not super useful necessarily. However, it shows you things like cauldron toroids or, cetus wisps, things that are situationally useful. So, you might be wondering how many of the thing you have, you can go over here. There are some other interesting things that you can find there. So yeah, the components exist. Used to be that the arcanes were also accessible from that panel, but they haven't been for years. Anyway, you have Nora's Nightwave here, which is apparently I've completed a task. Anyway, which is kind of useful for getting some resources. Cover that. Um, you have the market, which is fairly straightforward, but we'll also cover that. And then one of the biggest tools that's just super helpful for doing things is given or is accessible through Cephalon Samaras. So we're just going to visit him. It's going to take me to Strata Relay because if you use the panel to visit any of the syndicates from your orbiter, almost 100% of the time, I've never seen it not do it, but that doesn't mean it can't. It will take you to the Strata Relay. So inside Cephalon Samaras' Nightmare Zone, there's offerings. And in the offerings, there's this one. It's called a Simulacrum Access Key. Grants access to the Simulacrum, and literally just says, in the Simulacrum, you can face mimeographs of enemies you have fully researched with the Codex. So, and I'll break down a lot of the things that Cephalon Samaras has on pull in a video, because there's a lot more things that this room and Cephalon Samaras himself can give you access to. That's helpful for advancing as a Tenno. We're going to go ahead and leave the relay. Probably just do a whole relay video. So there's two other huge resources that exist outside of, YouTube or even just other players themselves in chat and things like that. And that's the Warframe Wiki, not the fandom one, but the Warframe Wiki, and then Warframe Market. And so those are useful for the wiki is great for learning about certain interactions that mods have. I'll go into that again in another video. And the Warframe market is about making honest trades with other players. Because if you open up trade chat, more than likely, I've gotten rid of my trade chat too. That's how hated that is. So I don't have trade chat enabled anymore. I only have recruiting, question answer, and my alliance one. If you open up trade chat, though, 9 times out of 10, there are going to be people who are posting exorbitant prices for things. And so Warframe Market does a great job of having an honest trading system with Warframe's premium currency, Platinum. So it's really helpful for that. So yeah, as kind of an introductory video, that's kind of the things I'm going to hit on. Yeah, like I said, hope it helps. We'll see what else comes to mind after I've hit on those things. I make another introductory video for a different series. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll post those other videos, and just if one speaks to you to help you, cool. Thanks for watching. Bye.